during the advance and diaspora polls.
And in sport, VTM FC registers their first victory in the 2024-2025 FNB Premiership season.
And that is Liza again joining us later on with our sport news. Dr. Boss is interpreting in sign language. Now, in our first story, the head of mission of the SADC Election Observer Mission, who is also former Prime Minister of Tanzania, Mr. Mizengo Pinda, says he's confident that preparations and plans for election observation will go smoothly and enable the observer mission to carry out its mandate and recommendations seamlessly. He was speaking during a courtesy call to Minister for State President, Mr. Kabomorai, this morning. Kgatleng West reports.
The SADC Election Observer Mission is here in Botswana ahead of the 2024 general elections. They met with the Minister for State President, Mr. Kabomorai, as they prepare to launch a team of 70-member SADC Election Observer team who will be deployed in all districts to observe the electoral process until polling day in accordance with the revised SADC principles and guidelines governing democratic elections of 2021.
When you go to observe an election, first is to just to get a picture of how prepared are the host countries. So in this case, we are sure that things have been prepared very well. But the second thing, of course, the assurance must go beyond that general statement. We want to be sure that peace is prevailing and peace will prevail even during the elections. Of course, Muslims are known as on the part of the government. So they've done their best according to what we gathered this morning. And they believe things will work out quite nicely. Already training has been undertaken to all of them so that they know areas of interest in the process of observing an election. And as I said, it's mostly peace, the freeness of people to move to the polling stations. So with that assurance, then we said, okay, fine, the team is ready for the work.
Mahatsa se a confirmile ka ikutlwang ka teng a ka nna 8 mme go sampe go sologetswe mahatsa a mangwe gore le ona a supe a tle kwano go sologetswe le mekgatlho e mengwe ya ka EU le mekgatlho e mengwe e harologanyeng mekgatlho e ikemetseng so kopa mhela mo go bagaitso batswana bagaitso ka go harologana ga bone ke gore amogelang batho ba henorato e buisanyang le bone ka kagiso ba sireletsega ka re itsiwe re le tshaba ya kagiso re le tshabeleng gore re amogela baeng.
Botswana has successfully held all its general elections since independence. To maintain this, Minister of Foreign Affairs encouraged the SADC election observers to openly execute their role in these elections.
We open our doors. It's a free country. Go every corner of this country and observe. Interact with people and make your observation, which we believe will be independent. And Botswana, as a country, stand ready to receive your comments. And we know that it is in our best interest that we have a successful election that is free and fair.
Furthermore, Minister Moraing appealed to Botswana and all stakeholders to cooperate with SADC election observers who will be in the country until the 6th of November to observe the elections. Kgatleng BTV News, Gaborone.
Following challenges that were experienced during the advance and diaspora voting held on Saturday, the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, has accepted the shortcomings and apologized to the nation, especially those voters who will once again be expected to cast their vote this coming weekend, where the advance voting will repeat. However, political parties have expressed displeasure over what transpired across the country and in the diaspora, but the IEC assures everyone that they are in charge and all the challenges will be addressed.
Ditiragalo tsene tse ga se ditiragalo tse leng gore di a itumedisa go ba maruri le rona re le IEC ga re robale ga re roba di ke ditiragalo tse dintsi jana mme go hatha le go heta ga tsamaiso ya dithopo jaano e khorelediwa ke batswana ba gaetso bona ba tshwantse re ba re menokeng ba re thuse go thomamisa gore dithopo tsa bone ka ese tsa rona dithopo tsa bone di tsamaya sentle mme di ikaegile ka molao mme go nna bothoko le go heta jaaka re ka dirisa magoko ga le gore yo kgoreletsang tsamaiso ya dithopo yo kgoreletsang tsamaiso ya molao wa dithopo ke yo e leng thopheng jaanong bothe ba nang gore ba amega ba tshwanetse go thopha ko mahelong ao tota ba ta re inela diata metsing re ikuela mo dipelong tsa bone re ikuela mo dithalaganyong tsa bone ebile re a ba kopa gore ka letsatsi le commission e le beileng gore ba ye go diragatsa tshwanelo ya bone ya go ithophela baemedi ba bone re ba kopa gore le ga re itse gore ba dirisa ditshenyegelo tsa bona go ya ko mahelong ao ba diragela jalo tota ba ye ko mahelong ao ba ye go thopha.
The Minister of Labour and Home Affairs, Ms. Anna Mokheti, says as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the government of Botswana developed the Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan to resuscitate the economy. When officially opening the Marula Manzi and Murula primary schools on Friday, Minister Mokheti said the new primary schools, which were built under the plan, are a great milestone in achieving Botswana's Vision 2036 pillar of human and social development. Horata Maranyani with more.
Vision 2036 Pillar Number 2, which talks about human and social development, refers to Botswana society as a knowledgeable nation with relevant quality education that is outcome-based with an emphasis on technical and vocational skills as well as academic capacities. The opening of these primary schools is a step in the right direction towards Botswana's vision.
Some of the containment measures of this pandemic, if I were to take you down the memory lane, included a regular washing of hands, wearing of masks, and social distancing. This therefore resulted in the introduction of shifting in schools to address issues of congestion, which were experienced in most of the schools across the country due to shortage of classrooms. In view of the above, the government approved funds amounting to 160 million for construction of 2 primary schools in Gaborone through ERTP in the 2021-22 financial year. Ladies and gentlemen, provision of these new schools is also a great milestone of achieving Botswana's national Vision 2036 pillar of human and social development, which aims at providing knowledge with quality education to Botswana at all levels and will significantly contribute to the attainment of Botswana's ultimate goal of becoming a high-income status country.
The 2 projects were approved through the Economic Recovery Transformation Plan at a tune of 160 million pula and were commenced on the 29th of November 2021, consisting of academic blocks and staff housing.
If I were just to take you down the mandate of local government. Local government, Baraichu, is mandated through local authorities, which is our councils, to provide social services and municipal infrastructure to our communities. So these are part of the municipal infrastructure that we are tasked with providing for the communities. So we need to collaborate with other stakeholders to ensure that children have access to quality education. And this is the primary reason why these 2 schools were constructed.
Despite the challenges of project implementation, we are proud to have managed to complete this magnificent 2 primary schools in Block 6 and Phase 4.
It is said that these projects were awarded to Botswana and were completed within the given budget and scope of works. Horata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, the President, Dr. Mokheti Masisi, has appealed to members of the Botswana Democratic Party and residents of Palamaukue, Mohorosi and Mabela Pudi villages in Sorowe district to vote for his party as it has good initiatives in place to develop and improve livelihoods. Speaking during the political rallies at the 3 villages, Dr. Masisi said his party has capable parliamentary and council candidates who are ready to work for the people. Gabriel Meriki has more.
Dr. Mokheti Masisi told BDP supporters that his party has good initiatives that are aimed at developing and improving the lives of Botswana. And as such, they should vote for the BDP as their preferred party in the upcoming general elections so that it can continue improving their livelihoods.
Okay, mukopelan topo kita bua mabaka atenga le mabedi mukolwane ona nerle mele pele ka 2019 la mo top mila thaela ampor ha ke batla ampor gompieno le bakale le tona pati ya le mo go nena le manane wa man ten ke tla se kae ke paketse ke ba bolelela ba disitse maparlamente otlhe a ne la tlhophile seroe south seroe west seroe north ke one go tlase ka go tsaya tšhema ka gore ga ba ise mananeo ko go lona e go tlase monna ona ke a le sologetsa ra gongwe manokeng mo tlhopheng hela tele bone mathaithai e regala mo ga lona mo iseng parlamenteng.
He said members of BDP should focus and not be distracted by anything. The president also generously donated blankets to the residents of the 3 villages. Gabriel Mereki, PTV News, Mabela Pudi.
Botswana Patriotic Front BPF patron Dr. Seretse Khama has pleaded with the residents of Gantsi constituency to vote for Isaac Saul to represent the constituency at parliamentary level after the general elections scheduled for the 30th of this month. Dr. Khama said this in Gantsi when officially launching the party's parliamentary candidate. Lisa Khomokwaisi compiled this one.
As the race to campaign for seats in the next parliament and council intensifies, political parties are now embarking on both council and parliamentary candidate launches. Recently, Botswana Patriotic Front presented Mr. Isaac Saul as the parliamentary candidate for Gantsi constituency. It is your democratic right for vote for a person that you want, and today we are here pleading with you to vote for Mr. Saul. Different speakers pleaded with the residents of Gantsi to vote for their party, saying it is newly formed, therefore its manifesto is well aligned to tackle the current life situations. Our manifesto talks about education. We are also talking about revamped Ipelege. So I'm saying vote for Mr. Saul so that you'll be able to reap something from our party. The simple part of it. On the 31st, we'll be having 14 ward councillors, and I'm going to be one of them. Gantsi constituency will be contested for by 3 candidates, namely Isaac Saul of BPF, Mr. Johani Tite of the BDP, and Mr. Salakai of UDC. Lesom Kwaisi, BTV News, Gantsi.
Kgatleng West BDP parliamentary candidate Mr. Daniel Molokwe has been described as a rightful leader who has served diligently in different structures of the BDP, making him suitable candidate who can transform Kgatleng West constituency. The remarks were made by Kgatleng East parliamentary candidate Mr. Mabuse Pule when launching Mr. Molokwe and his non-council candidates in Pilani recently. Jessica Pilani.
With only a few days left before Botswana goes to the polls at the end of this month, the Botswana Democratic Party held a massive campaign in Kgatleng West constituency to present their parliamentary and council candidates to the residents. BDP's parliamentary candidate Mr. Molokwe, who served both as Rasesa Ward Councillor and Kgatleng District Council Chairman, was described as a passionate leader who developed the entire constituency
through his transformational initiatives.
Economic empowerment of the citizens. Hawana molekane. Tama we go parlamenteng. We go tswela di dikgang tsa go tshwana le tsonetse. O no ntse bua ha re teretse ko counseling. O supa gore batho ba gago kante ba kgaolo ya gago ya Kgatleng. Gona dingwe tse di sa tsamayeng sentle. Mme o no sa robale. Tsatsi le tsatsi o buela morafi wa gago.
O na tla ka lenaneo le bidang go tike Academic Excellence Awards Initiative. Ale ka go dira dikolo tsa kgalo ya Kgatleng gore di gaisanye mme ka mo go dagala go dirile bana ba rona gore ba improve di results tsa bona. Romolokwane re ga se nna addressa council a di la report a ba re romela re le ma parliament a gago gore re bona re go diragala eng
ba ya go topa ka ditsedi o tshwantse gore UDC, le BCP, le BPF, ba tingwa topo ka ntata gore re le Batswana re rutile re badile ra tlhaloganya ga o tla go go rona o bo re tshasa botoro ka dilo tse se ka kentsa ira.
In his acceptance speech, Mr. Moloko noted that together with his council candidates, he will continue to advocate for the constituency he voted into power.
Ke kopa tlhopho ya lona le ba ke na le bone ba gore le ba ise counseling le nkise parlamenteng. Rona ba ga itse re diretse puso e re diretse le ha tshela ja ka ronkra. Ke kopa le nna sebaka ke go le tsamaela. Ja ka ke ntse ke le tsamaela mo counseling.
The BDP-led government has indicated that it is in the process of upgrading some clinics to primary hospitals in a quest to advance the health sector and improve healthcare services in this country. Jessica Pilani, BTV News, Pilani.
The leader of the Umbrella for Democratic Change, UDC, Mr. Dumaboko, has appealed to voters in the Tati East constituency to vote for parliamentary candidate Mr. Thomas Mpenya and his councillors to fulfill their mandate of creating 100,000 jobs every year for 5 years should UDC be voted into power next week. Advocate Boko was launching UDC candidates in the deciding this past weekend.
Mr. Boko has urged voters to fight for change of governance by voting for the UDC and voting Mr. Mpenya and his group of councillors so that they can enjoy the good that comes with the UDC, as they intend to increase the old age pension to 1,800 bula. Let us all unite, including you, soldiers and police officers. On the 30th of this month, go in there with the intention of wanting to change your life situations.
We
are not just talking about voting for the member of parliament or the councillors. We are talking about this year being a year of change. Changing the governance and your livelihoods. Your livelihoods are lack of employment, poverty, and other issues that affect you. The speakers have emphasized that Mr. Mpenya, who has served the Tati community as a social worker for years and also directed the Kgatleng program, is a hard worker and has demonstrated his ability to lead. We want leaders who are trustworthy, who cannot be shaken, leaders who cannot be bribed. Giving his acceptance speech, Mpenya and his councillors said they intend to stand for the people's concerns.
Tati East 16. Ke batla go le tshepisa ke le ngwana lona ke berekile mo Tati East mo metseng ya lona lote gore ke eme ha
From the 16 Tati East villages, I want to assure you as your child to say, having worked with you as your social worker and your Kgatleng program coordinator for so many years, I vow to lead you. The voters were urged to be attentive of the governance of this country when they make decisions on the elections day. Gedi Bonye Lekalake, BTV News, that deciding.
Well, it is time for our sport news. Liza Oseking on standby.
Thank you so much, Olibile. Good evening. I am Liza Oseking with your world of sport. And in our first story, Tabakani Mosetla is this year's Lake Ngami GM Cycle Classic champion in the 106-kilometer Masters category after crossing the finish line in a time of 3 hours 8 seconds to win 3,000 pula. The race was held in Toteng on Sunday. Maretha Kaisara reports.
Second position under the 106 kilometers males masters category went to Kabelo Kwape, who crossed the finish line in 3 hours 18 seconds, followed by James, who finished in 3 hours 31 seconds. 140 kilometers under 23 males category was won by Kabelo Makatile from Sports Cycling Club after completing the race in 3 hours 43 seconds, followed by Homole Moekelaotse from Jwaneng Cycling Club, who completed in 3 hours 43 seconds, while third position went to Eddie Gabosenkwe from Timbo Trail, who finished in 3 hours 58 seconds. Some cyclists experienced minor injuries on the track. This year's guest rider, Mr. Kumoizile Mapiti, recognized and acknowledged the growth of the Lake Ngami Cycle Classic, saying there is an increase in young riders which shows growth in the sport. He also pledged 50,000 pula from his organization Pula Met towards the annual event.
The proceeds raised through this event from the past 2 installments have been used in various community upliftment initiatives, such as supporting school refurbishments, clean water access, and infrastructure improvements. I am further informed that the 2024 edition will expand the scope, driving even greater long-term benefits as funds are to be channeled into education enhancement, infrastructure development, and this is to enhance the learning environment at Ngami Junior Secondary School.
We have been training as Kwemakau Cycling Club, cycling from Toteng all the way to Kuke and Butibeng, then back in preparation for this event. I finished first under 106 kilometers masters category. The competition was very tough as we had Elias ladies and sub-thirds. Lake Ngami GM Cycle Classic has this year registered 436 participants, amongst them riders, runners and walkers. Maretha Kaisara, BTV Sports, Toteng.
And our Resurgent Prison 6 Volleyball Club concluded the first round of the Botswana Volleyball Federation Men's League with a 3-2 victory over Kalavango in a match played over the weekend at SSKB Courts in Mogoditsane. Khomotso Sefako has more details.
In the opening set of the match, Prisons posted a dominant display that saw them sweep past Kalavango by 25 points to 14 to take an early lead of 1-0. Kaleboga Peve's men lost momentum in the second set, allowing Kalavango to claw back into contention as the set eventually finished with a close scoreline of 25-21 to leave the set score at 1-1. The fight in two sides intensified in the third set with a scintillating show of resilience from either end. The seesaw affair took the set down to the wire, with Kalavango eventually winning it narrowly by 39 points to 37. The fourth set resembled the third, with both sides once again throwing everything at each other. Just when Kalavango had hoped to close the match with a 3-1 final score, Prisons regained control towards the end to win the set 26-24, forcing the match into a decisive fifth set.
Prisons is a good team. They've been playing together for relay, and we're still trying for one.
We were playing against a Prison side, which has players who have been playing together for a long time. Our team is made up of young players who are still looking to improve their game and also grappling with the idea of how we want to play. Though we did not win the game, we played very well.
So, we are happy, though we didn't win the game, but we have a lot of positives to take from this game.
It's a first round win, but we didn't expect today.
We managed to finish the first round of the league with a win, but we could have played better than we did. It is a match we expected to win by 3-0. We played the way we did because of different circumstances, such as the heat, the fact that some of the players did not train well with the team during the week.
Match on the third set and fourth.
Kalavango redeemed themselves in their second match against Tikwena, which they won by 3-0 of 25-20, 25-22 and 25-9. On the women's side, Dynamics registered their first victory of the season when they beat Heroes 25-19, 25-14, 25-21 to finish the match 3-0. Khomzo Sofako, BTV Sport, Mogoditsane.
Well, and that is it for sport this evening. Olibile Samoka is standing by to give us a reminder of our top stories.
The head of the SADC Election Observer Mission confident his team will carry out its mandate seamlessly. The IEC apologizes for discrepancies during the advance and diaspora polls.
And in sport, VTM FC registers their first victory in the 2024-2025 FNB Premiership season.
And that is the news this evening. Weather's up next. Do stay with us. We'll be back later on to say our goodbyes.
Good evening, welcome to today's weather forecast brought to you by Faith Ketshabile. Let's start off by looking at the rainfall amounts that was recorded this morning at 8 a.m. 8 millimeters at St. Bernard Primary School, 6 millimeters at Tirolo Primary School, 5 millimeters at Khali Hill Junior Secondary School, 4 millimeters at Khamatari Farm, 3 millimeters at Maung International Airport, 2 millimeters at Mapashala Primary School, 1 millimeter at Gaborone Village Meteorological Services, and lastly 0.2 millimeters at Kubum Primary School. The current satellite image shows some clouds over most areas of the country, except for some areas over Gantsi, Kgalagadi, Southeast Kgatleng, and Kgatleng where clear skies are visible. And for tomorrow, we're expecting some partly cloudy conditions over Ngami, Chobe, Central, and Northeast, with possible chance of isolated thunder showers over Central and Northeast. And for Gantsi, Kgalagadi, South and Southeast Kgatleng, and Kgatleng, clear skies are expected. And for morning temperatures, we're expecting some mild temperatures over southern Gantsi and Kgalagadi, ranging between 13 up to 15 degrees Celsius, while over northern Gantsi, southern southeast Kgatleng and Kgatleng, we're expecting some warm temperatures ranging between 16 up to 19 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere, hot temperatures are expected of the range 21 degrees Celsius over Mahalape up to 25 degrees Celsius over Suapen. And for afternoon temperatures, we're expecting some warm temperatures over Kgalagadi and Southern District, ranging between 28 degrees Celsius up to 31 degrees Celsius, while over Gantsi, Southeast Kgatleng and Kgatleng, hot temperatures are expected ranging between 34 up to 35 degrees Celsius. For Central and Northeast, very hot temperatures are expected of the range 36 up to 38 degrees Celsius. And lastly, for Chobe and Ngami, extremely hot temperatures are expected of 39 degrees Celsius over most areas of Chobe and Ngami. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions over such weather phenomena. And for active fires are visible in some areas over Southern District, Central, Chobe, and Ngami. And the fire danger index for tomorrow is expected to be very dangerous over most areas, while over Boteti and Totome district, it's expected to be extremely very dangerous. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions when handling fire and to avoid starting unnecessary fires. Now back to the weather forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. Clear skies are expected for south and southeast Kgatleng and Kgatleng with hot afternoon temperatures. And for Gantsi and Kgalagadi, we are still expecting some clear skies with hot afternoon temperatures over most areas, while on Thursday over Gantsi district we're expecting some very hot temperatures. And for Chobe and Ngami, partly cloudy conditions are expected with possible chance of isolated thunder showers on Wednesday over Chobe district with extremely hot afternoon temperatures. Lastly, for central and northeast, partly cloudy conditions are expected except for southern central district, where we're expecting some cloudy conditions with very hot afternoon temperatures on Wednesday over most areas, while on Thursday we're expecting some extremely hot temperatures. That's all I have. Have yourself a good night.
When one is placed in the rare privilege and honorable position of leading, everything you consider must first and foremost be in the public interest. And so we want to partner with MIT to generate the ecosystem for this research, the ecosystem for this innovation, and generate new products different from the diamonds, different from our beef, different from our copper or coal, what have you, that we too can compete with the world.